Alright, hello everyone. So, I just want to give my full review and opinion on Lost Ark. After playing it for about 300 hours, I feel like I at least have a stable ground to talk about it on. I have not reached 1370, but I am tier 3, 1351 on my main, I believe. So I think that even though I haven't reached that tiny last sliver of content, maybe able to do the Argus raids, I think I can at least talk about the rest of the game in a very fair light. Considering I've played a lot of it. So we'll just start off with the first and most simple thing to talk about, the classes. Now, it does suck to say this, but they are gender-locked classes. But this is slowly getting chipped away at. I don't think it'll ever be fully gone. I still think some classes will be stuck behind a gender wall. But it's alright. Classes are being released all the time, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go. Let's start off with the simple stuff. There's not going to be a clash for everyone, it seems like. Well, kind of. It depends on really what you want to do. The game is an isometric game, so keep that in mind. So the playstyle is a bit different. But we can go into it here. All of the warrior classes seem great. So if you're really interested in just big dickin' with a fucking great sword, Berserker is insane, and it's one of the most budget friendly builds in the game right now. But chances are that warrior will be getting, Berserker specifically, might be getting nerfed a bit because it is a bit strong. There is two varying builds for this, I know that for a fact, and they work pretty much they work differently, but either way you're still gonna be chipping away the big sword. Gunlancer, he's built like a tank and can do the damage of a lot of DPS. So I mean, let's be honest, it looks cool. He's like I said, he's a lot slower. If you really want to carry a game, if you're looking to carry, the Gunlancer will do that job for you just perfectly fine. It's insane. Gunlancers carry everything. They make Guardian raids 18 times easier with taunts. So, and then Paladin. Paladin is, look, you're not going to be doing damage with Paladin, but the carrying is like the Gunlancer, where it's it is so nice when they're in your party. It's just insane. Then you have a mage. Right now, the only mage that you can select is a female. Same thing that it says the warriors. Right now, the only warriors can be male. Only mages can be female. And you have two selections. You have a bard, which is the actual healer of the group. It seems like Paladin can do healing. I meant to say this when I was on him. Paladin can do healing, but he's more of a DPS buff and providing shields. Bard can give you DPS buff, and it seems like she can provide shields and healing, but she's also the full commit healer class. And then you have Sorceress, the big AoE casting, big damage, but time caster. She does exactly what a sorcerer does, and she nukes the shit out of the battlefield. This video that they show here solidifies it enough. If you want to play a sword, this will sell you on it. Now, there's several female martial artist class, and I'm not sure of all the differences of them. So I'll just give you the idea, kind of what I know. War Dancer is just gonna be your general martial artist. She's gonna provide a great damage buff to the damage synergy to the team, I believe. And basically, she plays around. I'm not quite sure, but I believe it's esoteric meters. And she stacks up these things. You can see here, pretty cool stuff if you're in the monk thing. There's a male version of this specific one. So, yeah. Scrapper balances between a green and yellow gauge, and it's kind of like a War Dancer in that regard, a War Dancer, but she balances the two gauges. And I don't know, I'm guessing she's more tanky. I actually don't know the differences between these three. Soulfist is Goku in female form. She's literally got a Spirit Bomb and a Kamehameha. If you're gonna play it, that's gonna be everything. Martial Artist male. The only class for him is the Striker class, which is much like the It's the male equivalent of the War Dancer. I wouldn't say it's much like it. But you focus a lot on combo skills. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. Combo skills, and you do a lot, and I mean a lot of back attacks. You're gonna be pretty much stuck in the back attack position, and you're gonna be focused on your combat skills and building up your esoteric meter, and then burning it. I think the aesthetic of this class looks cool in my opinion, but I don't like the playstyle of it. But you honestly have to see for yourself. Gunner. Okay, so I've pretty much played a decent amount of all these classes that I can give my opinion on them. I feel like fairly decently. Sharpshooter is great if you want a very relaxed playstyle. Sharpshooter doesn't seem like he has to ever really worry about much. You're pretty much going to rely on Snipe, which is that ability there, and Charge Shot, which is another ability where you charge up an arrow and then release it. You play at a very comfortable distance with two very comfortable perks, considering two comfortable builds. And honestly, he's not like a hard class, but he's not a very boring class either, where you're not doing anything. I don't like him as much because I feel like for a lot of it, I'm just sitting back waiting. But that's what you kind of do. It's just a relaxed playstyle. You dodge mechanics, you just chill out, and you summon your bird, and you just do decent damage. Not bad, not great either. Deadeye. Deadeye is my favorite class in the game, but I can actively say it's probably one of the lower end classes in the game because it's very reliant in one form on back attacks, and the other form doesn't do as much damage as it could if it was just going for back attacks. Deadeye has two playstyles where you swap in and out of pistol form, and we swap in and out of pistol form, shotgun form, and rifle form, and one where you're stuck using only pistols. If you're looking for more of a ranged playstyle, I don't recommend Deadeye. He ends up being more of a mid-range brawler to close range to mid-range brawler, depending on your build. If you're looking for more of a ranged guide, it seems like Artillerist and maybe even like female Gunslinger is what you're looking for. He doesn't do a shit ton of damage like some of the other classes can do, but he has his moments to shine, but he has to work overtime for it. Artillerist is one of the most interesting classes because it's a weirdly tanky DPS. You get a lot of shields, you get a lot of like crowd control effects, and but you also have the cost of he's kind of like the berserker of the male gunners. He has a lot of abilities that animation lock him and can be missed, but in return he gets shields to tank that up a little bit more. I haven't played a whole lot of them, but I think he's a very cool class. He's very flashy, so if this whole image right here intrigues you, just go ahead and give it a shot. The Gunslinger is the only female gunner class, and she plays a lot like the Deadeye, except instead of being more reliant on the pistol and shotgun like the Deadeye is, she's more reliant on the rifle and pistols, I guess more like you think the Deadeye would be with his name. You can play in two different forms. I have not played her. All I know is that she is generally seen as in a better light than Deadeye because she can play more range. And yeah, that's mostly it. She can play more range, which is more comfortable in generally in this game because you don't have to worry about as many mechanics. And finally, the female assassin. I don't know the difference between these two, so I can't speak on this. This is the one class I can't give a review on because I didn't play and I don't know the difference. I know that one goes into like the demon form. That's all I know. But it sucks that she's stuck behind the gender lock of being female, and there's not a male one yet because I'd like to play the one where they like go into like demon form. I think it's cool. So moving on to the next thing. So let's talk about the rest of the game. Besides the you know, the classes, let's talk about the rest of the game. So first things first, leveling. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, leveling is a pain. If you're at 50 and you're watching this, you know leveling was a pain. It's not bad, like to the point where like I was like, oh god, but it's pretty bad. It's not bad, but it's pretty bad. It takes a while, and generally I'm gonna be honest with you, you're probably not gonna want to even do it after a little bit. But once you get to the siege and everything starts to click a little bit, you'll be resold. But I promise you, getting to end game, there's actually a whole lot for you to be doing. I'm not gonna talk much about the leveling because every MMO has leveling problems, and it's just how it is. There's a way to bypass this later on once you hit 50, so you only have to do it a couple of times if you really want to. There's a benefits to doing it where you get pots and so forth. You have a little bit more understanding of the character, so forth and so forth. It's a whole thing. But later on, you'll get knowledge transfers and training camps, and then you can catch everybody else up to your main. Let's just ignore that. So if you want me to be honest, right now what's going on is this. Class-wise, right now, I think the game's at like a 7 out of 10. It's got a lot of variety, but there's a lot of things that I wish were changed, and I want to see a lot more interesting classes. And I think there's a lot of them that play kind of meh. Leveling wise, it's like every MMO. It's like a 4 out of 10. It sucks. The story's not even that great, so it's not like a Final Fantasy thing. But you know, some people enjoy the story. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's okay. Now, Lost Ark, the end game. What am I doing? What will I be doing? What's up? So, Lost Ark end game consists of basically this. You're gonna log on every single day. You're gonna press Alt J, which will open your Una's tasks. You can see that I have rest bonus because I didn't play yesterday. I'm not too bent on like getting this up right now. And I'll talk about that at the end, because there's not too much more to talk about really, in my opinion. But we'll see about that though. So you'll log on and you'll press Alt J, and you'll see these dailies, and you are gonna want to accept them. I'm not gonna accept them because I'm not even gonna play today. I'll talk about that. Mostly actually I can say it now. Mostly because I want to save my important things for tomorrow on stream, so I have content to stream for the game because I do love this game. But you know, we'll get into it. You'll go in here and you'll accept 3 of these, and then you'll complete them. They take you everywhere on the fucking game. You can go anywhere. You can do all these. A lot of the ones that you're going to be hearing a lot about are low-paying dailies. These will be providing your silver because at some point you're going to suffer for silver. It only really is beneficial if you have alts in tier 3 and you can make a load, and I mean a load of silver this way. Other than that, you're going to be wanting to farm you're going to be wanting to farm your leap stones, and if you need it, shards. This is what you're going to do. You're going to get 3 of these every day, and you're generally going to want to do like around the same one because you'll collect rep, which will increase it, and then if you're doing islands rep, you'll inevitably get the island soul, which will be used for collectible things that the islands give you. But other than that, what you're going to be doing on every day when you log in is you're going to 2 chaos dungeons. This is just a shit ton of mobs, and on the second level it's 3 mini bosses, 1 boss, not really a boss. It's a shit ton of mobs. You just farm them up and blow them all up, and then you get done. You have a chance to get all this loot. Later on you'll get tripod gear. We're not going to talk about that until later on. But you just farm loot, and you have a chance to get a boss rush ticket and a cube ticket. That's all it is. You just do 2 clears. It's pretty simple, pretty quick. It doesn't take a whole lot of time unless your class is slow clearing. You can do infinite of these chaos dungeons and sell them to this vendor right here. These little shard things that they give you, you can sell them. You can get items from the vendor depending on your tier that you're in, and they can help you for leveling up and getting engravings and so forth. I don't really do that. I don't think that it's really that worth, to be honest, because a lot of times nothing interesting comes of it. If you're logging on right now, you'll be able to do an event guardian raid starting at 250 item level, but when you start, I believe you're at 50. I believe you're at 302, so you're good. This is a guardian raid where instead of 1 guardian, there's 3, and they are very simple. You're equal. Everybody's like normalized, I believe, or like they're on equal playing fields with the guardians. And then there's gonna be 2 guardians on the map, and then when you go to fight one will show up, and you have to perform an action. For this one, if it's the same one as it was last time, what will happen is you'll be either fighting Virtus or Frost Helgia at the time. They'll both be on the map, but if you're going to either or, when you're fighting them, Necrosena will show up, And when Necrosenna shows up, what you're going to do is you're going to want to stagger Necrosenna. They will drop buffs, which then progressively increases your damage to, like, you're doing things like on a regular ability you're hitting for like 5 million. So it's just for fun. It's nothing bad. And they gave this a currency reward, and I believe this can be, I didn't realize it at first, this can be completed once per day per character, it seems. And then you go to this vendor and you can trade in your winter exchange tokens for honing books or honing mats, depending on what you need. Then you're gonna have your daily guardian raids, arguably the slowest part of the dailies, but from what I've heard, they get a little bit easier when you're higher item level. Basically, all it is you're gonna go in, you're gonna fight a boss, and I'd recommend matchmaking unless you really are hellbent in soloing. Some of the later on bosses, not even the later on, some of the bosses in general for this can be kind of hard to solo, especially if you're not fully diverse with mechanics. You're gonna go in, you're gonna find the giant boss, and you're gonna fight it, and then it's gonna have mechanics and different unique things that are unique to that boss, like breaking pieces off, changing mechanics, bosses fully changing how they play, and later on full-on mechanics, such as like Titalos and Achades, and kind of Albahastic, and like Valganos and so forth. They all have different mechanics. I definitely recommend that you do the adventure tome before the welcome challenge recommendation of doing the guide before this, because if you haven't done it, the game struggles to teach you. The game is really lacking in the department of teaching players the important mechanics for them to understand. Players don't know that a lot of players didn't know how to counter. A lot of players didn't use battle items. They got all sorts of things that are very crucial to understanding the game and performing well. So I recommend when you get there, go in here and you follow the thing that wants to teach you the guardian raids. So that is mostly what you'll be doing for your dailies. There are some islands that you can do daily, like such as this one here called Anguished Isle. And if you're not doing either of these, you're doing your adventure compasses. So you can get you're going to be doing a ghost ship, a chaos gate, and adventure island. You'll do these 1 times per day, and they give you rewards varying. But daily content, I will be honest with you, this is why I've slowed down playing the game significantly. Daily content is great, and I don't mind it, and I, in fact, am okay with me slowing down the game. Daily content is great, but there's not a load of content in the game to feel like you're overwhelmed or never gonna reach the point where you're gonna progress. If you want to be honest with you, at a certain point you will slow down as well. If not, there's a few other things that you're gonna do besides your dailies. But if you're just end up at a point where you don't want to do these other things that I'm about to list off, you're only gonna get on, do your dailies, and either switch to alts, or you're just gonna get off, play another game, which is fine because there's not a shit ton of content in the game right now. Like I said, you don't have like 90 alts and have to do the Legion raids and so forth yet. That's why I'm okay with pausing. So if you complete all your dailies and you want more content, well, what is there to do? Well, let me bring up the map here. Well, you have islands in like most of this fucking game. Like, see, there's literally islands everywhere, and there's island souls. You're gonna get on, and you're gonna want to do all the quests so you can unlock the reputation, because it seems like most of the island souls are locked behind this reputation system, which are locked behind dailies, which sucks because it's kind of hard to grind that. But you have to set them up some way, right? So you got to do it this way. But what are you really gonna be doing when you're not, doing dailies? Well, what it seems like a lot of people are doing, to be honest with you, is either rapport or collectibles. The reason you want to do quests is because quests will provide you with stats to your virtues, which will let you do even more quests and get you even more what's it called? It'll get you even more of the rapport. Well, a lot of what you can do is collectibles. There's a lot of them. There's 93 island souls. There's 15 giant hearts. There's 7 omnium stars. There's 49 masterpieces. There's 1,210 makokos, 14 ignia tokens, 61 world tree leaves, and 44 sea bounties. And all of these play their own role. A lot of people want to do this just for completion, but island souls have their own rewards listed here, where you get like compasses and so forth. I only did the island. You only really, if you really only care about like do them as little as you can. You only have to really do the up to the skill point potion. But yeah, you get all these little rewards here. You get like masterpieces and so forth. You get like little things for reputations, little dances, little sea bounty things for your house, and so forth. Giant hearts are arguably one of the more important ones, because you get things like, you get a bunch of skill point potions. You'll get a lot of these through reputations and just completing other daily activities, but you're gonna collect these a lot. These ones seem more like passive, because they're not necessarily hard to get, but they're not necessarily always something you can be farming. But they're like that. Omnium stars, I don't even think you can unlock until you get to tier 3. But Omnium stars are, once again, kind of like giant hearts. You just have to get them through reputations. Like this one's reputation with Nia Village. The other one of them is rapport with Nia. And then you have to hope that Moke drops his, and you have to hope that Stella drops hers. These two are RNG, and then you have to control all the other two. They have great things here. I really want this golden wealth rune, but there is a greater skill point potion at 6 Omnium stars. Nice. Masterpieces. Masterpieces seem like they aren't the one that everybody's gonna chase after, but they are. They do have great things behind them. So first of all, they have a ways card, which is insane already. And they also have a golden judgment, which is really important. Well, a lot of these are earned through, you've already seen it through in like the island souls. A lot of these are earned through passive activities you're gonna do in games, such as boss rush, and cube, and like other activities through other collectibles. You'll earn masterpieces, and you'll bring them here, and they'll give you like these little niche things to have fun with. And inevitably, you know, you get like 13,000 gold here, and so forth. A lot of this stuff is very interesting. Makokos, this is the collector's paradise. Look, if you're playing this game, this is what this is like the meta game right here. You get a whole bunch of transformations, you get a whole bunch of backgrounds, like stronghold crews, you get masterpieces, you get cool titles, you get ship skins, you get all sorts of stuff, and most of it is just people just do it. Look, a lot of people I've heard do it just for this transformation where you become a Mokokoshi. But they're little collectibles, and they're everywhere on the map. Ignia tokens are also very important. So you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna get there's a greater skill point potion here. This is what everybody wants. But if you're a real gamer, what you want is the Turpion. This is the Ultra Omega Giga Chad mount. You have to get 13 of these, which means you have to complete rapport. You basically have to do everything for a zone, and you will get 1 Ignia token. You have to do this 13 times for this mount. I've only seen 1. So this is like a thing that you do passively, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of something interesting to work towards. World tree leaves. I honestly, most players probably won't even care about these. This is your trade skill collectible. You got these from like doing random trade skills like mining and so forth. And you get some interesting things. Well, most of them, I don't even know what half these do. I just know that these two transform you into animals, which I think is fucking awesome. You can be a fish. But there's one master piece here. But yeah, you'll just get these ones from doing trade skills, it seems like. And sea bounties. Now these are like collected off these little island maps. They're like golden. And I don't even know what the point of these are. I don't even know where you trade these in. You get like cool shit, I guess, but look, I can't speak on this one because I've only done 2 of these. So but that's what you'll be doing a lot of times if you're not doing your dailies. Weekly grind, however, you'll be doing your guardian raid, your raids with later on the what are they called? the Legion commanders when you'll have more stuff to do per week per character. But you'll be doing your Legion raids per character, like once per week per character. Your Abyss dungeons once per week per character, and it's usually going to be one or 3 or 4 depending on the one you have. I think it only goes with 3. Yeah, it's going to be 2 to 3 or 4 depending on what tier you're at. And then oh, I forgot to mention earlier, that's basically all you do. And I don't remember, I don't think there's any. Oh, and you'll have weekly quests for doing different content in the game. That's mostly what you get on and do during the weeklies. They give you the best gear. They seem like they're kind of delayed. Also, I meant to say this for stuff that you could be doing while you're not doing dailies. You'll be doing the tower if you haven't finished it. Basically, all it is you climb to these. Each one you go to level 50. They give you skill point potion for each one, but you go to level 50 on each one, and they give you different challenges. They're not necessarily difficult. Some of them are just kind of fucking bullshit, to be honest with you. And then these two right here are collected through doing the the chaos dungeons, and there's a chance that they drop. Boss rush, like its name implies, is you just fight a bunch of bosses. Pretty straightforward. It's hard to fail this, but it gives you pretty good loot. The cube is arguably really boring. It's just a bunch. It's 18 or 15 levels back to back, and if you die, you get like a certain amount of rewards. It's not really that fun, but you do it because you have it. If you want to, you can save up 3 tickets for it and just blow them all. The other event in the game right now is the Grand Prix, where you get to race as a Naruni, and she provides you with different rewards such as honing and such. I'm gonna go ahead and buy these all out real quick. Thought I'd get that. Hold on. Sorry. There. I'm just gonna buy all those out real quick. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna. I wanted to get rid of. I'm not gonna go over like every minute thing in this game. Because it's pointless. Because there's so much. There's a lot. If you're new, you're gonna have time to play. You'll have time to, like, you know, unpack and like get to play the game before you're like thrust into like not knowing what the fuck is going on. You'll do that, and you have to like race around a track, and you'll get things. We'll move on to the latter things nearing the end of this review. Honing, rock chipping, and tripods. So we'll start off with things that are more relevant to newer players when they hit tier 3. Honing. This is gonna be your time sink. This is what's gonna cause you to look on the forums and see people complaining all the time. So you have a chance. I can't do it here because I don't have any of these future materials, but basically what it is you load up on these mats, whatever your mat is. It's different for every tier, except for, yeah, it's different for every tier. You're gonna load up on these mats and you're gonna fill up this thing. And at first it's gonna be great. You're leveling, you're going through all. You're gonna want to level all this to like generally the same level, or you're gonna want to level certain pieces higher because it's cheaper. There's a whole like thinking behind this. You're gonna want to level all your gear, and you're gonna progressively do it. And as you progressively do it, the more and more you're gonna notice, hey, it went from 100% to 90%. It went from 90% to 80%. It went from 80% to 70%. It went from 70% to 60%. It went from 60% to 50, and then 50 to 40, and then 40 to 30, and then 30 to 20, and then 20 to 10. It gets lower and lower every time you do it. Every time that you get up to a certain number, and at certain points you'll go over to tier 2 gear, and it'll reset. Now, this is where you will sink a lot of your time, because it's not guaranteed until you fill this up to like a certain percent, I guess. When it reaches like 100, I believe you're guaranteed, but you're gonna have artesian energy, and every time you fail a hone, it increases the chance that the next time you hone, it'll increase the chance that you actually succeed at hone. But it gets harder and harder later in the game. So early on, you're not gonna be spending 14,500 silver and 70 gold on tier honing, it'll be toned down because you're at tier 1. But as you progress, this gets more and more expensive every time you hone. This is where a lot of players, this is where all your mats that you're going to be collecting throughout the game, all throughout the week, throughout your weeklies and dailies, and all the work you put in on your character will go. And if you have alts, this is where you'll funnel them into your main so that your main can be boosted up as much as you can go. And then this is where they'll go. This is where you're gonna spend a lot of time. So you're gonna have your dopamine hits and your depression. So that's basically it is. Gear transfer is gonna be explained about the game. I'm not gonna explain that. The gambling stones. This is a fun one. I have stones in my inventory that I don't care about that I can do this on. You see here we have the Gamba stones. Basically, you see there's a percent. 75% and then 75%. Red stats are bad stats. They give you things that you don't want. For example, this one gives you 5% of damage reduction if you get 5. I'm not going to explain engravings. There's whole videos for this, but if you get 5, and if you want more than 5 of these, 5 or more of these. Basically, all it is you gamba. You give 75%, you want to hit whatever one you want, then 65%, then 55%, and then you want to go and you have to fill them all up. So for example, this is what we do. We go 75, 75, 65, I mean. We'd hit 55 on this, 65 on this, 55 on this, 65 on this, 55, 65, 55. Then we're like, oh shit, 45. We hit here. 35. We hit here again. 25. We hit here again. 25. We hit here again. 35. We hit here again. 45 here again. 35 here again. 25. Look, this is how it goes. You just gamble. This is a shit stone. But yeah, you just gamble. And you want to get a good one of these for your clash engravings that you need. And then finally tripods. Basically, your skills all have your things. If you're looking at you're playing you're like tier 1. You're like, why does my thing say level 2 for swift fingers per se? Like, say it says you see level 1 and you see level 2, and you're like, what the fuck? It's just tripods. Basically, what tripods do is they give you skills. Later on, you'll get gear, and what they do is they provide a buff to the skill. You have to have it equipped, and you have to have that exact one. So it says Cruel Tracker Explosive Bullet. I have to have Cruel Tracker on an explosive bullet for this to take effect. I don't get the free explosive bullet. That's basically all it is. This is also a point of gambling because you have to tier two of these. You have to use like a little dust thing. And it's a 30% chance to transfer over, but you can use this like refrigerator to keep them and transfer onto gear if you get better ones that you want in general. There's some other minor content engravings. You know, this is your DPS right here. You want all these to be as optimal as possible for your build and so forth. All right, look, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to divulge into and like sit here and talk about for hours, but I'm gonna cut it here and just talk about the rest of it. If you're new to Lost Ark, there's gonna be lots of content. There's gonna be things for you to be doing all the time. The game is alt friendly. When you hit 50 and do Vern and stuff like that, you're gonna get Vern power passes, so you can have 3 alts that level up with you. I recommend that you take care of those alts and you foster them. Don't just give up on them. Level your main, do stuff in your main, and then when you feel like it, go play your alts. You're not going to regret it, because whenever you're in tier 2 and you're dying for mats, or tier 3 and you're dying for mats, and those alts are able to funnel them, it'll change your fucking life. But if you're new, there's content to blow through. You're going to have, at least right now, if there's no updates, you'd have like a month of content before you're like, hey, I can start slowing down. If you're playing and you're at 50 and you're in tier 2, look, I'm gonna be with you, you're already feeling it. The game is slow. It's slowing down. Things are just kind of like, hey, I get on, I do whatever I'm gonna do, and I make it off. And if you're at tier 3, you know that fucking pain. Let's be honest. But there's always stuff to be doing, right? So let's be honest. The game is missing content. South Vern's coming out soon. Volton's delayed. When they come out, you'll be having more content to do per week. So you're not just like, I can't just play Lost Ark. But look, I'm gonna give my review. The game has mediocre leveling, got suck spine class, hindered locks. It's got fun end game. It's got interesting mechanics. It's got things that I really enjoy. I like every other part of the game besides the starter things like the class locking and the leveling. Sure, the dailies can be tedious, but that's just part of the game. The game is a grind fest, so if you don't like that, I'm sorry. The game is pay to win. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. But my full review of Lost Ark, if I were to give it a out of 10, would be like a 7 at the current time. 6 or 7. And it's not because Lost Ark struggles in any regards regarding, you know, content to do at first or anything. Lost Ark struggles because when you're at tier 3 or you're doing certain lower or like, you know, time-gated content, there's not a whole lot. Once you do Argos, once you do your weeklies, when you get on, you do your dailies, and there's not much to keep you. And at that point, you should just go play a different game get on, do your dailies, and just go play something else. But as the game progresses, I know that changes. I give the game a 6 out of 10. There's a whole lot, 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. There's not a whole lot to do, but there's lots to do if you're new. There's a lot of things that it could lack and it could make up on. There's a lot of things that I can already see are going to change. This game is like every other game out there. It's got its flaws and its drawbacks, and we can only see how they work at them from here. I think that players will find a lot of time that they're going to be sitting here and just be like, you know what? I mean, I love playing the game, but I can't play the game right now. There's just nothing for me to do. And that's okay. I don't think every game needs to be retaining your attention every moment of every day, no matter what. I think that it's good that this game has content. You do your content, you log off, and maybe you don't play for a day or two. You still can catch back up on that content that you missed out on. But yeah, my full review of Lost Ark, in my opinion, is it's a 6.5 out of 10. The game has stuff to do and has its shortcomings, and it's gonna make up for those. I know it will. I have high faith in this. But as somebody who's played it for 310 hours, I feel like, you know, there's not always something to do. There's not always something for me to feel like I'm doing. And I feel like right now, a lot of what I'm doing is I'm just going to play other games. Right now, it's a lot of Dead by Daylight. But that's just me. But if you really are new and you're debating, don't let the isometric view stop you. Don't let the leveling stop you. Just give the game a shot. Try it out. Get to max level. Play for a bit. And if you don't like it, I understand. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I just want to talk about my, you know, full review. Like I said, 6.5 out of 10. There's a lot of things that I think it could increase, and do better. But you know, we can only see where it can go. But yeah, guys, have a nice day, and see ya.